Well, hello everyone, this is Elder James, and today we're going to be looking at Mount and Blade Warband. But not just the vanilla game, this is instead a total conversion for Mount and Blade Warband called Brytenwalda. Let's start a new game while this is loading. This is a mod that can be found on the Tale Worlds forums, and there'll be a link provided in the description so you can look it up for yourselves if you're interested. This mod changes the game from the setting in Calradia to 7th century Britain. So you have what will one day become Ireland and Scotland and Wales and England, split into a whole bunch of tiny little kingdoms, as it was back in the 7th century. You have the Jutes and the Saxons and the Celts and the Picts and the Angles and the Britons. Although I think the Celts here are just called Irish, if I remember right. Yeah, this is just setting everything up, working itself out so it can get us started. This is perhaps, to me, one of the better mods for Mount and Blade Warband, or even the original Mount and Blade. It uses a whole bunch of there's a whole bunch of different scripts and ideas that are thrown in there, and they've gone for as much historical accuracy as they can with regarding some of the scenes and settings that you can encounter, which we will certainly be looking at. We'll wander into some of the cities and forts so you can see some of the changes from the original game that people have made. Okay, let's start. It rains. It's cold. Too cold. For a moment, you are afraid, but then you start to remember who you are. And okay, so for those of you who know Mount and Blade and Mount and Blade Warband, you can really see the difference here. Your character creation is all done on one page with a little backstory that comes with it. So we're going to be a guy. We're going to be a Briton, who are the Welsh today, I believe. Priests. I'm going to be a nobleman. Yes, we'll just go with the travelling warrior. Self-sword, travelling warrior. Personal revenge. Okay, so this is our story. You are a Briton. You came into the world a son of declining nobility, owning only the house in which they lived. However, despite your family's hardships, they afforded you a good education and trained you from childhood for the rigours of aristocracy and life at court. As a boy growing out of childhood, you were sent to live in the house of one of the nobles of the land. There, your first lessons were in humility, as you waited upon the lords and ladies of the household. But from their chess games, their gossip, even the poetry of great deeds and courtly love, you quickly began to learn about the adult world of conflict and competition. You also learned from the rough games of the other children, who battered at each other with sticks in imitation of their elders' swords. Though the distinction felt sudden to you, somewhere along the way you had become a man, and the whole world seemed to change around you. You signed on with a mercenary company and travelled far from your home. The life you found was rough and ready, marching to the beat of strange drums and learning unusual ways of fighting. There were men who taught you how to wield any weapon you desired, and plenty of battles to hone your skills. You were one of the charmed few who survived through every campaign in which you marched. Only you know exactly what caused you to give up your old life and become an adventurer. Still, it was not a difficult choice to leave. With the rage burning brightly in your heart, you want vengeance. You want justice. What was done to you cannot be undone, and these debts can only be paid in blood. I think our chappie has probably come back from campaigning in Europe or whatever, because somebody, maybe whoever was left in his family, was killed so that somebody else could claim a throne. Yes, I think he's coming back to kick someone's ass because the throne should rightfully be his. Okay, I'll pick a banner. Okay, let's have a look-see here. Let's go with some intelligence. Leadership. Trainer. Prisoner management. And we'll go with some iron flesh. Okay. Okay, that looks like a suitably 7th century type name. Alrighty, let's have a look. Oh, that's all over the place. It's one of the many mods that's involved, incorporated into this one, is polished landscapes, which serves to make everything look just a little bit nicer within the appearance and battles and everything, and the grass and the textures and the trees and so on all look a little bit better. Okay, what are we gonna do with this guy? He's kind of goofy. Let's go with this guy. Let's see what we can do with his face to make it more interesting. Let's drop the jaw down a little bit. Not quite as wide. Make his chin a little bigger. Yes, make that smaller. Bigger there. Not quite so wide in the nose. Oops. Drop that down. Turn that down. Alrighty, let's okay. Tighten the eyes up a little bit. Okay. Yes, give him a that 1,000-yard stare with the eyelids being half closed. Let's drop the eyebrows a little bit. Yes, he means business, this guy. Let's give him some hair. Oh, red, no. Let's go with dark brown. Yes, this looks like a guy who's been in the wars. Slightly scruffy. Okay. Let's have a look, see. No. Let's go with this. Can always be changed later by looking at the character sheet and double clicking on the little person in the corner. You can change it. Smaller, bigger, just a bit of fiddling here and there. This guy looks like he means business. I'm here to kick butt. Alright. Anno Domini 636. There you go, 7th century, the year 636 AD. The world is at war and respects only the law of the sword and spear. Realms are born and die every single day. kings die on the battlefields. In the north and east, the Angles consolidate domains and claim more land. Oswald, the new lord of the north, now rules Bernicia, Deira, and Elmet. In the south, the Saxons, led by Kynegils, have teamed up with Oswald and cornered Penda, king of the Angles of Mias, the March. Will Mias resist being surrounded by enemies? King Penda is bloody and violent. Many kings have been killed by his sword, and it seems his sword will kill many more. Meanwhile, Christianity is extending out from Kentware, land of the Jutes, converting the barbarians. Pushed against the coast, the Welsh are fighting for every inch of land, but they are too divided. Dreaming of a king to unify them all and lead them to final victory, they wish for the return of King Arthur. But Arthur is dead, and all eyes look to Kinderland, the king of Penguin. And Gwynedd, a kingdom fertile with great warriors, is silent, unable to hear the sound of the armies advancing to threaten their land. Gwynedd mourns great King Cadwallon, scourge of the Angles and Saxons, who has left a son, a king only 3 years old. In the snowy lands of the far north fight the Irish, Dalriata, and the Picts. Their kings share blood, but the Irish are invading the land of Kate, kingdom of the Picts. The Picts, with their faces painted and their female warriors, are now united under one king and are stronger than ever. Across the sea and island, Donnell Mac Ada of the Uineal clan has emerged as High King in Temare after defeating his enemies, but it is nothing more than a prestigious title. Although he is called the most powerful of the island, around him clans are fighting for land, women and cattle in fratricidal wars. War in Ireland is endemic. Who can bring light to this world of war and misery? The world was chaos, and chaos was war. This is Brytenwalda. I think we're going to start in the kingdom of Gwynedd, because they are Britons. You came by ship, skirting the cliffs where the Gwynedd Highlands meet the sea. Soon you distinguish Caer-Segint, capital of the kingdom. Walking, you see that the streets are dark and silent. The great king warrior Cadwallon died 2 years ago, and Gwynedd is still mourning his death. He left a son, Cadwaladr, but he is still a child of 3 years. The hard men of Gwynedd, considered among the strongest in Britain, have been summoned to war this year. They cry and wait, keeping sharp swords. There is a new master, Cadfael Cadermid, which has displaced the son of Cadwallon in his mother's power. He says that they have returned to their glory days. You are exhausted by the time you find the inn in Caer-Segint and fall asleep quickly. However, you awake before dawn and are eager to explore your surroundings. You venture out onto the streets, which are still deserted. All of a sudden, you hear a sound that stands the hairs of your neck on end. The rasp of a blade sliding from its scabbard. So someone's already trying to start trouble. Okay, let's okay. Come on, you. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Get some of that. Get back. Get back. Oh, whatever. Give it. Get out. Go away. Go away. Get away. Get away. Get away. Get away with your shield, you scumbag. Go on. Give up. Stop fighting. Don't you see it's pointless? Haha. Oh. No, go back. Suck it. Oh, do you want some? No? Alright. You're a merchant. Are you alright? Well, I guess you're alive at any rate. I'm not sure that we can say the same for the other fellow. But he was only unconscious. That's one less thief to trouble our streets at night, though heaven knows he won't be the last. Let's talk more inside. Alright, lead on. The merchant takes you to his house. Once inside, he stands by the door for a while, checking the street, and then, finally convinced you have not been followed, comes near you to speak. Although, I have to go to him to speak, because that's the way it works. Now hear me. You seem a little disoriented. I do not know who you are or where you're from, and to tell the truth, I do not care. I am just a simple merchant, but things did not go well for me here, so I am planning to travel to another country. Peaceful and rainless, I hope. I have heard that in the east gold flows from watery fountains, so maybe I'll go